Guys, and welcome back to a new video. So this one's actually very interesting, very focused on Bali. We do deal with a lot of clients. We do have properties in Bali. And a big question is, the big problem really is foreigners cannot legally own, freehold or land in Indonesia. And most people are going to be taking shortcuts. So if you don't know how they buy property in Bali, typically, they will use a nominee over in Bali, but again, this increases the risk of fraud, increases the risk of actually losing the entire investment or the entire property, all of this, right? So today I'm going to show you how to actually buy property in Bali safely using an international trust structure. And it legally actually protects your assets and keeping you 100% in control to an extent, right? So obviously I've always been promoting Cook Islands Trust. If you haven't gone and checked out those videos, please go ahead and do so. I'll upload some new ones soon as well on the Cook Islands Trust. They are the ultimate gold standard of asset protection, of trusts, of everything really. I mean, it's just so safe to have one. It's quite ridiculous. So in this structure here, client would be a prime example. The client would be a UAE resident, so therefore he's most likely got a UAE an Ajman company. That's at 9% corporation tax, free up to 100K, right? And Matt's got a UAE bank as well. So this then obviously issues him his ID card, as I've said in other videos, through those health checks, through that. You get your business license, all of this, and then you get your ID card. So now he's 100% income tax free. He then has a Cook Islands Trust, which is then settled by himself, which is the client, the licensed trustee. So if you wonder how the trust works, essentially, the trust has a settler, beneficiary, and the actual trustee, and you'll basically be communicating with the law firm to then actually indirectly manage that trust from behind the scenes. This would then have a Swiss bank account, usually a minimum deposit of about 500K. Again, you can have other banks in Panama we work with, Belize. And again, if this is your first time watching me, it's Will from 4 Solutions. We basically chat about trusts, company formations, fintech, banking, the full shebang, right? The full shebang. But this trust back to it would then own the Nevis Holding Co. And this Nevis Holding Co, again, might have the same Swiss bank to make those banking fees quite cheaper. Then we're going to get into this. You have a business over here based in Wyoming doing some consulting with a Canadian bank and a fintech, for example. Maybe you do $1 million a month, $2 million a month, 300K a month through this one here. And basically, you really want this Bali house in one that's worth $1 million, right? You want to buy this. Maybe you have other assets, other companies as well, which come under different types of structures. And again, if you did want to chat with me one-on-one, there is a link to book a Zoom call down below, which you can do so just for free. You can have a nice chat. I love chatting to entrepreneurs anyways. Hopefully we can work together. If not, I'm sure we can have a nice, friendly chat anyways. And again, this would be the, I think it's called a PMA, something like that. This is basically the Indonesian company over here with the Indonesian bank and fintech right here and Bali house right here. So if we basically scroll down, leave it here, let's have a quick look at this. So the main problem is Indonesians' actual landlords are very clear. Foreign individuals cannot directly hold, it's called hack, it's called something, right? And it basically means freehold ownership. So they actually can't hold them. So the common workaround is a local nominee arrangement, essentially putting your property in the name of a local Indonesian citizen and resident that you trust, okay? But the risk is if a person decides to walk away, sell, pass away, your villa disappears with them. So there's no enforceable act that you can do here, so it's not actually that safe. So the solution here is a professional trust and a company structure. So basically you set up the offshore trust, for example, in Cook Islands, but usually we actually set up the holding company first, the PTPMA, the Wyoming USA LLC will basically be transferred into the holding co, and then we create the trust and transfer it all into the Cook Islands Trust. It's much more efficient in this manner of transactional charges, and also saves you with trustee fees as well. So obviously they can get quite hefty. And again, if you want to learn more, feel free to book a meeting or drop me an email at will.hodgson@4pointsolutions.com. So essentially, the Nevis holding co here essentially then owns the PT PMA, which is completely legal. And this is a foreign-owned company that can legally enter into long-term leases and hold usage rights. So the PT PMA signs a 25 to 30-year lease of the actual rights over the villa or the land, which you're essentially looking at purchasing, right? So why this works, it's 100% legal under the Indonesian local law. The trust adds the extra layer of asset protection, ensuring the asset is entitled to one person's name, and it's managed professionally, again, through this licensed trustee over here. And again, if your local partner or director tries to misuse the company, the trust has the enforcement power to statutorily step in. And that's how the trustee really, really protects you. And again, if anything happens to you, it actually ensures the smooth succession planning in terms of estate planning, right? And they inherit your actual Bali asset without messy local probates and stuff like this, right? So that's a prime case example. It's very simple to look at. Hopefully you can actually understand what's going on here. But Bali is paradise. You don't want your dream home sitting on some legal quicksand, essentially, right? You don't want that. It's not really ideal, right? Especially if you're buying an investment of $1 million. It's a lot of money, right? So by combining the trust with the Nevis Holding Co., with the Indonesian local company as well, you can make a workaround. You can own it properly, asset protection, tax efficient. And again, this is considered a gold standard asset protection trust, and that is the Cook Islands Trust. I'll be making a lot more content on these because we do work a lot with law firms and other third parties who help set these up properly. And obviously we help the structuring, we help the consultations, and we do the entire A to B process for you. So very interesting stuff there, guys. But there you go. That is how you can own a Bali 1 million house under a trust without having the risks that you would have if you were going to be using a local nominee, which is completely ridiculous anyways. I mean, for me personally, right now I can't afford to be buying a villa in Bali for $1 million. But if I were to, it wouldn't be under a nominee. That is for sure. So I hope that makes complete sense. And again, feel free to get in contact, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you say on this YouTube. And hopefully I'll look forward to speaking with you on a Zoom meeting or even on simple, good old school email communication. So over and out. See you in the next video, guys. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.